Hello, it's Brian Ostrowski here again doing another website breakdown video. This time we're going to be doing College Park Main Street. Now, they are in the market for a new website. We're part of a group where they were asking for some input, so I thought I'd do a breakdown on the website they know they're getting rid of, but highlight some things they do well and some things that they'll need to focus on improving next time. So let's take a look. As you look at the site, you'll notice that it's got some great visuals, some texture, some depth that feels nice, good pictures. It's a nice aesthetic site. It doesn't use some of the more modern designs that push you further to the edge, and I have a 13-inch monitor here. You can see quite a bit of gap, so making things a little bigger, a little fuller would be great. It is mobile optimized, so that's good. But the first thing that I want to stress is that everything you see here are images. So as I drag, you can see the whole image. Now this is a problem. First, when you do shrink to mobile, it makes it real hard to read some of this stuff. So if I come over here and I push it down, you can see that gets pretty darn small. The second issue is that Google doesn't read images so well, so all this text, you're missing out on search engine optimization, and should anyone come here with a screen reader because of visual impairment, that content's just non-existent. So using text and pictures together is really important. The next is that they're highlighting their supporters and sponsors, which is a wonderful thing, but they're linking out to their website directly. Now, I took a peek and I noticed that they have a good directory. They're using a system that powers membership management. And so they've got this directory here. Each one of these businesses or listings has its own page. So wherever you reference these folks, whether it's a logo or a blog post or an event, it should link here. That way all roads lead to specific content. And that then leads to another thing, is that in addition to the directory, there's these other sections, which are sort of like a different take on a directory, except it's redundant to manage. Now, I do like some of the visual aids, but it's confusing to me as to what the intent was here. There might be a reason, I just don't understand what it is. All right, so given that, what's the difference between events and a calendar? Well, here's what I think it is. I think events are showing you the featured Main Street events for the year. And so I see those here. And that's okay. But then the calendar is other things, or maybe redundancy. So there's some confusion. So highlighting featured events and then also including them in a good calendar makes sense, and you can do some things where you're doing event recap, blog posts, and really give it some longevity on the marketing front. All right, so their main calendar, however, is a Google Calendar. It's free, you can use it, we use it on our phones, it's great, but it is not meant for this use. We see it a lot, but it's not meant for this. It's not for public distribution. It's not visual, it's not really very compelling. So you should be using a calendar that has logos and more information and is shareable. For what it's worth, we do make a free calendar available for anyone who wants to feature their events. And then the last thing I really want to stress here has to do with how the content sits on the page. So here you see a nice breakdown, 50-50, your eyes don't have to travel too far. There are some pictures, although I like to see more here. But then you can look at other areas. You look at this page. Here, the text is traveling all the way across. Your eye does not want to go all the way across. So either offset an image or give it some narrowness and some padding on the side so that your eyes don't have to travel nearly as far. In this case, you definitely need some images too, because you're getting to know the community. Pictures speak 1,000 words, that sort of thing. So on the one hand, you need more pictures. On the other hand, you need less pictures. It's just about using them in the right way and not graphics so much as photos. The exception to the rule of all the way across the page is when it's more of a title. This is fine. You're not really reading back and forth. You're just reading. That works just fine. So I come to their Facebook page. I see they've got about 8,000 fans, which is nice. And I see they're pretty active. They're sharing other people's stuff, which is cool. You're acting as a curator, sharing some events. That's great. And as I continue down the page, what I start to see is everything on Facebook is only on Facebook, meaning you're not really sharing stuff from your website to Facebook. So you're not getting people out of Facebook. And that's where the problem starts to kick in. So for instance, in this example, it looks like we're celebrating a success story. This should be a blog post, a recap. It should live on your website. You should share it to Facebook. That would allow you to click on the image and go to your website. But here, it just gives you the larger image. I do recognize that you're linking here, but few people make that jump. So you want to write a success story, link to that link that you have here from your website to your website, and then share to Facebook. Basically, what you've done here, sharing that article from a newspaper only from your own website. And the last thing about Facebook is I see that you're sharing your email newsletter into Facebook. That is not the way to do it. What you want to do is all of the content that's going to live on your newsletter, with the exception of maybe a call to action, is a blog post or an article or a news update on your website. So all of this content, all this good, keyword-rich, interesting stuff is nowhere to be found on your website. If I go there, I can't find it. If Google goes there, it can't find it. So this content should live on your site, you share it to Facebook. Lives on your site, you preview it in your email newsletter, and you force people to click to read the details. All of that drives people back to your website. A subscriber on email might go to your website and share to Facebook, and someone on Facebook might go to your website and subscribe to your email. That's working together. Plus, you get statistics. What do people care about? If they can read it all here, you'll never know what they really care about. So as you look at the website that you're going to build, aesthetically, there are some opportunities for improvement, structurally, some opportunities for improvement, and then from a marketing process perspective, content on your site, highlighting local places and faces, and then distributing that out through the channels such as email, Facebook, and if you were to use a service like ours, automatically distribute it to local businesses and calendars and that sort of thing. You get all of that with one piece of content. So if you're ready to improve the marketing of your community, upgrade your website, and coordinate some activities with your merchants, contact us and we'll show you how to take back local. Thanks.